Happy Friday, everyone. It is 48 minutes after 9 o'clock on this Friday morning. Hope you guys are doing well. It is a week away here from the Kentucky Oaks, getting ready for Derby 150 next weekend. All right, Derby week. It's upon us, guys. So, the weather is the crucial time period right now, but we also have a lot going on. Obviously, we've got all the events outside. We got a lot of friends and family coming into town, already in town. So it's just one of those 7-day periods that things are a little different for us into Wave Country, certainly into the Louisville area, as we have our tradition continue here. All right, so all right, the weather side of things continues to evolve. I'm going to try my best to explain this again. Hopefully not as much detail and drawings as I had yesterday, but there are several systems, and with there being several fronts moving in, timing is the biggest issue here of how one affects the other. But still, having said all of that, when we get to the big race, so far, everything still looks good. So that's the silver lining. Try to keep that just in the back of your mind as I'm about to talk about other things here in a second on this. All right. As always, you guys can comment on our social media pages. A lot of you already are doing that already. Good morning to us. I saw Ralph. Ralph is in Nicholsville again. Good morning, Ralph. Hello to Hope again. Hello to Brad. Hello to Nancy. Hello to Angela. Hello to Karen. Cheryl says it's breezy there in Kaminsky. Good morning, Jeffrey, over into the east there from Simpsonville. Jason watching from Good Old Cloverport. And good morning, Shonda, over into, I believe you're in Jeffersonville, right, Shonda? And over in Jeffersonville. And hello, Melissa. I hope you're doing good. Hello, Rob. I got everybody on here. Let's see. Hello to Tish. Hello, Jason there over in Paoli. All right. A lot of you guys on. All right. If I can give you a shout out, I promise I'll get you eventually. All right. Let's get into it. A lot to explain here. First off, we had a beautiful view this morning of the balloons for the rush hour balloon race. Did you see them? If so, type in chat that you did. I think it was a near perfect setup. The wind was just light enough. The ceiling was high enough. And what a sunrise with the sky on fire. But you know what they say, red sky in the morning. So, yeah, that was a big hint there, too, on the meteorology side, right? But still, a lot for a very beautiful shot this morning of the balloons that were passing by. We'll have video of that coming up a bit later on. But we'll at least get into the outlook, which, does feature... while we've got beautiful weather in the area now, you see this line that is coming our way. This is the warm front. It's got some showers with it. No lightning being detected. And with this particular band, I do not expect lightning to develop along it. But this is the actual warm front. Timing still looks to be very close to 2 o'clock for it arriving into at least Louisville. Some of you a little earlier and later because it does have, obviously, a slant to it. So Kentucky is going to get the rain before Indiana will, which is rare. Usually it's the other way around. We usually see the tilt the other direction. This one's a little more slanted the other way, which actually is a little more common with a warm front. It is angled in that area. Either way, this passes through. The only thing that I'm watching to see is as we head into the afternoon hours and we get to the other side of the warm front, there is a brief window that there could be a few downpours or even some thunder that will try to form on the other side of the warm front, and that would be roughly around sunset if they were to pop. And I'll try to show you the hint of that on Futurecast in a second. We are not expecting severe weather out of this setup for today or even tonight, so just kind of a heads up on that. Meanwhile, man, what a mess it has been. We have already talked about how the Plains, Midwest, Arklatex area of the country is going to be busy, right, the next few days. That's a given. They've already had the first round of thunderstorms during the overnight race through Oklahoma, right around Tulsa and east of Oklahoma City, now heading into Arkansas. Several of the severe thunderstorm warnings have a black outline to them, indicating a tornado is possible. That line has got a lot of wiggles to it. It's an MCS. It's just kind of eating away. You can almost see that. It's just eating away at the moisture as it journeys there off to the east. Some of this will be what we'll be tracking for later on tonight that could have an influence on some of our areas for the overnight hours. I'll show you in a second, but some of that piece of energy will be the catalyst or beginning of that entire phase. Okay, your severe risk today is out to the west. once again, I think Kansas City into Iowa will. I mean, they're borderline going moderate here for that one, based on what I've seen so far. So that's going to be very close for them, but very, very active. Notice we are not in that outlook. That is to our west. We get into tomorrow, Kansas City again, Wichita, Tulsa again, into the enhance. We're fine here locally on Saturday. We get into Sunday. It's Kansas City again, but this time a slight risk. Let's hope it stays away. But still, same spots keep getting hit, right? But even on Sunday, it is still mainly to the west. It's the same front. It's just a couple of waves kind of reattaching to a previous front, kind of passing through the Midwest. So it just keeps the severe weather going. The one on Sunday will finally be the one that will push into wave country late Sunday night, likely well after midnight, into Monday. But even then, I still not seeing much of a risk on severe weather with that. Okay, so this afternoon, I mentioned about 2 o'clock-ish or so that wave of showers in the radar will arrive. So just keep that in mind. If you have anything outside, it may have a bit of wind with it when that passes through. So make sure you got everything anchored out before you head off to work or anything this morning. As it passes by, this is where we get just enough fuel to try to form right there into areas of southern Kentucky and central Kentucky. Again, the risk is low, but I can't rule it out. I'm starting to see a few hints. There could be a couple pop-ups of downpours, maybe even a rumble of thunder that could form this evening, and a few isolated cells. They wouldn't last very long, but I don't think it's a zero chance. And I don't think everyone's going to see it either. It's going to be very isolated, but that chance is there. All right, here we go. Thunderstorms into Missouri. Notice again the red area is the fuel that we're talking about. As the storms blossom there into Missouri and head east, notice the storms as we head into the evening time period are still into St. Louis. Again, a couple of pop-ups in central Kentucky, but for the balloon glow, the only issue with the balloon glow is going to be ceiling. I don't know what it's going to be at that time. It'll be varying a bit, and the wind at that time may be a bit on the gusty side. So those are still two factors that are iffy. We still have a caution up for the balloon glow tonight, not a red indicator for the our opinion anyway of the conditions. So there is still some wiggle room there to get the glow in tonight. All right, so that's good. Last night was beautiful. Tonight, not as cooperative, but it's not written off either. So if you still have plans to go downtown, keep those plans. All right, thunderstorms overnight tonight. Keep an eye on what happens into the southeast corner of the Show Me State. As they develop, notice they begin to move away from the instability or the red areas into the overnight. So there's not much support for anything that tries to roll in out of Missouri and head into Indiana, into Ohio later tonight. And this is going to be the general storm zone path that we'll have through the 2 or 3 o'clock window all the way to near 7 a.m. tomorrow will be this corridor of showers and thunderstorms. Now, there is a chance that a few of these thunderstorms, as they approach, I would say southwest Indiana, maybe in West Kentucky, could still produce 1 or 2 severe thunderstorm warnings tonight for wind. That's possible. But as the storms weaken, and they will weaken rapidly as they journey more east, they will become elevated. So it's a little tougher to get strong winds down to the ground level or anything on the severe side, period. But a wave of at least some increase in wind and rain and lightning could still make its way very close to Louisville. Now, I will say some of the high-res models, you model watchers out there have seen this, right? I mean, there are some that take the showers and storms right across central Kentucky and as well as Indiana, and it's very active, right? And there's some that take the thunderstorms way north, and we see nothing in the area. So we're at the mercy of what we will soon see as thunderstorms this afternoon, the convective trends, we call that, how they all develop and produce their little outflow winds out of them. Models can see hints of that, but boy, they're never going to get that right. That's just too fine of a detail for even the best weather models we got today to really gauge. I can just tell you that the environment is not supportive of anything severe racing along that. So it would be in a weakening trend. My question, more so than anything, though, is just the path they will take. It makes a huge difference on a downpour with lightning moving right along the Ohio River at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, right when we got runners outside and the balloonist getting ready to go. So that matters, whether it's right across Louisville or right across Washington County, Indiana. It's a huge difference in the outcome of a lot of people's plans. So that's the reason why we're going to monitor this. Right now, again, the zone is higher the more you travel into Indiana versus it will be into Louisville or Kentucky, but it's not It's not zero. I wish it was, but it's not. So we got to just monitor it carefully. Right now, if there's any sign of good news, once we get to about 7 or 8 a.m. on Saturday, as you're about to see, things do improve. So I really think if we have any kind of tail here of moisture, and this is really the warm front that we're talking about, but if there's any tail of moisture, it's still lingering. It should start to get pushed because high pressure is going to be our friend. Hello, the big blue H, although it's yellow on my graphic. Anyway, the high pressure is going to fight back. All right, it is going to push north and west and try to keep this thunderstorm zone completely out of the area. And it will win out, especially as we evolve through Saturday morning. And in fact, it could win out so much that we may end up with a mostly sunny sky for Saturday afternoon. Breezy, windy out, but it could be beautiful outside in the 80s and a lot of blue sky. That high will fight back to allow that to happen, but it doesn't want to fight back. And not that we have any control over this, but it doesn't want to fight back until we get until about 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning. Then it starts to make its progression and build. So that's the reason why we're just at the mercy there, the storm belt right on the edge of it. So just be mindful. There's going to be some changes likely to the outlook for tonight, and especially if you have plans to go to the marathon or the balloon race in the morning. You got to keep checking back. I'm telling you, what I have now is probably not going to be the same at 6 p.m. today on the outlook. So just keep checking back in, and we'll just keep adjusting as we get data. And once the storms get going into Arkansas and Missouri this evening, especially late afternoon, early evening, that will then finally tell us where the likely outflow bands will be. And that at that point, we'll be able to really lock it in. But they've got to pop first. They got to pop first because that makes a difference on 50 miles or not. Okay, so that passes on by. I mentioned Saturday afternoon looks windy and warm. There's some fuel, but we're capped. So we got a lid on the atmosphere. So we don't have to worry about storms. And then for the parade, it looks good as well because the high is still in control. In fact, it's very much in control on Sunday. Record high on Sunday is 88. Could get close. And then here comes the line of storms again, late Sunday night into early Monday. They look mean. I'll give you that. They look mean, but they weaken rapidly as they move into our area. So I still am not worried about severe weather on Monday with this one. Okay, so the balloon glow, we'll go with increasing southeast wind going to a little bit of a gustier south wind. The ceiling is not a huge issue there for the glow, obviously, because they don't have to lift off the ground. I just need to keep it on those little downpours that try to pop, but more so than anything, it's just going to be the wind. If we can get the wind to relax a bit, and it's tough to do, I know, at Waterfront Park, but if we can do that, then the glow's a go. We get into, I mentioned the races, the issue there for tomorrow morning, but we get into Pegasus Parade. Boy, it's looking warm. I mentioned that record high of 88. I think we'll fall short of that, but still going to be a warm day. Warm and still windy. Not as windy as Saturday, but still windy. We have, I think there's 9. Oh, I'm trying to remember my emails. There's so many emails these days. I think I have like 130,000 unread. I am not, for someone that has any OCD with numbers that show up on their phone, which it doesn't bother me, but it may bother you. You don't want to see my phone. Either way, if you've emailed me, I apologize. It may be a couple years. Anyway, the wind field is not going to be strong. I think we got about roughly 9 inflatables, I think, that will be in the parade. So it's either 6 or 9, something like that. So I think that they'll be ready for it. They're professionals on that. Okay, so we get into Monday's thunderstorm setup. Again, this is going to be a fading area severe. You can even tell the fuel is not even really present as it moves on by. There'll be some rain. There'll be some thunder, but we just don't have all the ingredients. The front kind of just collapses, which we saw hints of yesterday that it would begin to stall out, right? But it's not just the idea that the front stalls out. It's also the idea that we have a couple of very potent lows that just rapidly just race across the northern part of the country. One will try to give us some thunderstorms for Wednesday and Thursday, and the second one may give us rain on Thursday to early Oaks Day. Okay, so Tuesday, I will say this. We got rain and thunder on Monday. Tuesday may actually have a fairly low rain chance. I might see much of a front or a trigger at that point to cause a big problem. So Tuesday may be okay. We may work out for those that have plans for 5 Tuesday. We get into the Great Steamboat Race Day. My only concern here, the wind fields are weak, but there is a trough that digs right here. The wind fields are quite potent into the Great Lakes. So there's a dig right into this area. Your moisture and instability are roughly southern Indiana and central Kentucky, right here in wave country. There will be a chance for a complex of storms to form, I would say, very close to Indy, and they will quickly race to the southeast. There is a chance that these could be very similar to what I just showed you on the radar that's in Arkansas right now. It may have a similar look of a blob of thunderstorms, kind of wiggly, that'll be passing through and drifting in. That would be Wednesday, late afternoon and evening. If they form, they would rapidly head due south right into wave country. So something I'm watching, that Wednesday could pose a severe risk. If that trend continues to stay in the modeling and we see that signal grow, we'll let you know. Right now, not all the data is pointing to it, but there's a few that are very consistent on that and have not wanted to give up on it. So that's one issue for Wednesday. If we get into Thursday, here comes our second front, and this one also will pose a fairly high rain chance, it looks like, for Thurby. And there is going to be a severe risk on Thurby. The CSU modeling, Storm Prediction Center does not have its outlook yet, but they're watching it. CSU does hint at a severe risk here for the region. It's low end, but it's on the chart. So we'll watch this for Thurby. Eventually, though, this front has got quite the dig to it, so it wants to push the rain out of here. It's showing still rain here for Oaks. I don't think it's going to be that slow. It should be a little faster of a progression here on getting that through, but we'll likely at least account for some rain early on Oaks Day with a push of drier air from the cold front to allow for a better looking afternoon, certainly, and for the big race itself for the Oaks. And then for Derby Day, it looks pleasant with a lot of sunshine, a bit windy on Oaks Day, a little bit of a relaxing wind on Derby Day. But right now, again, Derby, if as long as this trough digs in and we get that cool pocket of air, we'll be fine as we head into Derby 150. So let me get right into the entire 10-day. And if I can get to some of your questions, I will get to that for the next minute or two. Then I got to run. So here we go with we've got 74 today. Again, we'll watch that band of rain at about 2 o'clock. Small thunderstorm chance this evening, storm chance overnight. Saturday, that 20% is very early in the day. Once we get past that, I think we'll be able to take the rain chance out for the rest of Saturday, the way it's looking. 85 the high, 87 on Sunday. Thunderstorms, non-severe, the way it looks now for Monday. Tuesday, again, we may be able to lower the rain chance on Tuesday, but Wednesday, we're back to a stormy scenario if that complex out of India arrives. So be watching that. Thursday is the main last big front that we've got to get through to get to Oaks and Derby. That looks to be a sacrifice that we'll have to give for Thursday for the showers and storms, and then we'll clear the air out. I will say the trend is to lower even these numbers for Oaks and Derby just even a bit more. We could even dip in the 40s Derby weekend. I do not see frost, but I would not rule out 40s. Okay. So, Brandon, severe weather possible on Thursday? Yes, it is possible on Thursday. There's no outlook officially. We don't have an alert day out, but given the environment and the wind fields and the timing, it's there on paper. So we're about a week out. So it'll take some time to sort that one out there. Cameron, do we think the May outlook could be active for severe weather? I do think that, but I think that is, if you were watching the other day, Cameron, I think it's going to be the last 10 days or so of May that look the roughest for severe weather, which will put us near Memorial Day weekend. That signal is still strong. All right. Shonda, would the wind be more of a factor than the storms on Saturday morning? Yes. As far as when it comes to balloons, yes, that'll be more of the issue. Lightning is the only issue we got for the marathon runners because obviously, I mean, rain, showers, and wind is not a huge issue for runners, but lightning would be something we don't want to mess with. So that would be the issue for them. So it's kind of like picking out different things that we have to monitor for different reasons. Make sense? Okay. Teresa, I'm going to Churchill Downs on Wednesday. Not a complete washout. No, not a complete washout on Wednesday. I think it's just a period of thunderstorms on Wednesday, and it's looking late Wednesday into the evening. If they form, they got to form in Indy first and drop down. If that does not materialize, we may not see much action there on Wednesday there, but the signal's there. So I do think a period of storms is what I'm watching for Wednesday, but not a washout. Okay, and let's see. 2 more questions, and I got to run. Brad, is it safe to start planting flowers? Yes, there's going to be some cool mornings still in the 40s. We're going to have, it looks like, maybe 2 more It may be Derby weekend, but I do not see anything that shows 30s or frost or anything like that. So you'll be good. All right. I've told my mom the same thing. So if we get a frost, I'm in trouble in multiple ways. Holly, does Thursday look like a rain out? Thursday could be very active with rain and thunderstorms. Could be several days out, but when you get at the actual front kind of scooping up like a shovel, I mean, you're going to get all the moisture that's left now kind of really scooped up because the amount of dry air that comes in and punches in Oaks Day to Derby Day is tremendous. So there will be a reaction on the front end of that, and that'll be rain. So it could be fairly widespread on that day. So yes, that's the way it looks right now. All right. I'm going to stop rambling. It is a Friday. We got a little bit of rain. So if you're looking for an excuse to get a nap in this afternoon, hey, it's on the way. It's on the way for you guys. All right. I'll see you guys coming up at midday. Take care.